adjust our resistance on our bikes nice and low. Super low. Get it as low as you can get. And we're just going to sit up. Pedaling softly, lightly. Just moving the legs a little bit, just to get them loosened up and warmed up a little bit. And as we sit up like this, let's see if we can tune into the neck and the spine and the weight of the upper body. Shoulders relaxed. Split your arms. Hang down, relax, stress-free. Just take some nice deep breaths from your belly as we continue to just pedal softly with the legs. Then let's take our hands, place them onto the handlebars. Use the heel of your hand. Just set it onto the bars with your fingers free. And I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of resistance right now just to kind of get the wheel moving more smoothly on my freewheel bike. If you're on your fixed gear spin bike, just make sure you've got a little bit of resistance on the wheel rather than pedaling it without any resistance at all. Just get a tiny bit on. Now let's check our elbows and our shoulders. Just remove any tension or stress from the hands, elbows, shoulders. And continue to let your belly be relaxed. We'll bring our leg speed up to around 85, 90 RPM, something like that. Still on light resistance, just bringing our leg speed up in order to bring a little more warmth into the legs as we do this. Make sure your hips are nice and settled on the saddle, and your upper body is nice and calm. Nice. Our goal here is just to make this movement smooth and beautiful with this light resistance, and to be really in a beautiful cycling position, paying attention to our posture and our body. As we do this, we can notice that the legs start to warm up a little bit, and that's good. Your heart rate might start to come up a little bit. Perfect. Let's just take the next 20 seconds or so to focus on stitching together that circle. Stitch it together. Drive over the top with the hips, then the quads, and then the calves. Scraping mud off the ball of the foot. If in any way your legs are hurting right now or you're feeling discomfort in the muscles, take out resistance. This is all light. This is all just working on smoothness and bringing some warmth into the muscles. That's our only goal right now. Let's go ahead and bring our leg speed up a little bit. Just a few RPM from where we were. And as we do that, check to make sure that your hips don't start to bounce in the saddle. They stay nice and settled on the saddle. Again, just working on smoothness, keeping the upper body relaxed. And now, just let your legs slow way down, way down. Let's sit up again. Tune into your breathing and your heart rate. Notice how your body has changed just from that warm-up. I can already tell my back is a little looser. It's kind of tight when we started. I can already tell my back feels a little bit looser. My legs feel a little bit warmer. Perfect. Let's return to our handlebars now. Bring our leg speed back up. If you have a computer on your bike, you can make this around 90 RPM, plus or minus a few. Find a nice, comfortable flat road cadence, still with light resistance. And now, let's bring in just the tiniest amount of resistance so that we feel it in the muscles of the legs as we hold this pedal speed. Still not discomfort, not uncomfortable, but a little more work, and we can feel that. Let's allow our body to naturally find this cadence. For me, that means I usually just kind of close my eyes and feel for the beat of the song. Go ahead and try that, just for 10 seconds or so. Beautiful. Notice the heart rate's picking up now. I want you to take a look at my hips. You see how they're completely stable on the saddle? And the upper body is really relaxed. See if you can keep that same kind of position. Reaching down, let's add in a little bit more resistance. Just a tiny bit, again, just enough that you feel it in the muscles of your legs. At this point, you're probably noticing your breathing is getting noticeable. Maybe your heart rate's coming up. And maybe you're starting to feel a little bit of fatigue in the muscles of the legs. When I give you the signal, we're going to go to 100 RPM or so, plus or minus a couple, 98 to 102 or so, with this resistance. And as we do that, we're going to make sure the hips don't bounce on the saddle and the upper body's not getting stressed, or we're not hanging onto the handlebars. We're staying calm, relaxed in the upper body. Let me count you into this, okay? In 3, in 2, in 1. Come on up to 100 RPM. Good time to check in with your belly. Make sure it's relaxed so you can breathe deeply. I want you to think about how your muscles feel right now. If you find this just really hard, or you couldn't do it for 4 minutes or 5 minutes, that just means you have too much resistance on. Go ahead and take that down. All right, we're coming back. Down to 90 RPM in 3, and 2, and 1. Let's just slow our legs back down to 90 RPM, plus or minus a couple. Together, let's notice the effect that had on the body. You can probably hear it. My breathing's picked up. And yeah, my legs are feeling warm. A little fatigue in the muscles of the legs. A little bit. I've allowed my legs to just find this rhythm. You can do the same. And let's quickly check in with our neck and our spine. Are they relaxed? Is the spine aligned with the neck? So you have this nice neutral shape to the spine. You have this just natural gaze, looking out 10 feet or so. That's what we want. Just a nice, neutral spine. All right, let's turn down our resistance. Way down, way down. Do a quick check-in with our body, shall we? I'm just paying attention to my breathing, seeing how that correlates with my heart. I can feel the heart with my hand. So I'm just noticing how those two are correlated. As I'm sitting up, I'm feeling the weight of my upper body held by my spine into my sit bones. Noticing just a little bit of sweat. Oh, so perfect. Perfect. Let's do a little meditative piece, shall we? For me, cycling is just a beautiful form of meditation. Repetitive, smooth, powerful. And when we're on a bike indoors, we don't have to worry about cars or traffic or stoplights or any of that. Nails on the road. We can just be. And I want us to do that now. Let's come back to our handlebars. And let's bring our legs up to the cadence. Appropriate for flat road, so 85 to 92, somewhere in there. Depending on your body. whatever feels most comfortable. And you might not know what that is right now, and that's okay. You'll find out what your natural flat road pedal speed is. Doing a quick check-in with the hands, elbows, shoulders, belly, spine, hips separated from the upper body. Just get into a good position. Now, bring in a resistance. It feels like you've shifted a couple of gears on your bike. And yes, there's discomfort almost immediately now. And if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. And just breathe from a relaxed belly. Let's stay here for just a little bit. I want you to use this time to notice your thinking. Notice when your mind wanders. Which it will do, that's normal. But when it does wander, notice it. And then come back to your muscles, the rhythm, the power of the pedal stroke. Come back to check in with your body position. Come back to relaxing the belly and breathing. Accelerate your legs. Just a few BPM. Now let's all align to this rhythm. We're going to be in the mid 90s to upper 90s, maybe 100. I could tell even that last little acceleration increased my breathing. Absolutely increased the discomfort in the muscles of my legs. In 3, 2, 1, reduce your resistance. Sit up. Just notice your breathing. Notice your sweatiness. Notice your heart rate if you have a heart rate monitor on. This is one of these moments of integration, where we kind of put together everything we just experienced. Okay, let's return to our handlebars. allow your body to align to the rhythm of this new song. By the way, if you feel like it, you can just stop for a second, stretch your calves, take some pressure off your sit bones. That's perfectly acceptable. This is what you do in cycling. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, once we have this rhythm, let's add resistance so that it feels like to you you're going up a pretty challenging hill. And this is where we can absolutely feel the hips pushing us over the top. From the top part of the pedal stroke or just before it, you'll feel the lower back and hips and glutes engage if you're climbing a hill. Also, if you're climbing a hill, like I am, your breathing's starting to pick up quite a bit right now. Yes, your muscles are starting to ache. We're putting out some power now, and we're going to sustain this for a little bit. Keeping the belly relaxed, breathing in, shoulders away from the ears. This is the decoupling of the upper body and the lower body that I talk about. At this point, your muscles should be quite achy. Your heart rate should be quite high now. You can use my breathing as a guide. Beautiful. Take your resistance down and pedal softly. Get sitting up like I am. And let's tune into our bodies for just a moment. Just a moment. As we do this, let your legs find this beat. Your handlebars now. Let's go deeper. Let's work harder. Learn more about ourselves. Holding this rhythm, add resistance. that you couldn't do for 5 minutes. So this is nearly at the limits of what you're able to turn from the seated position. So you see my upper body has gotten into this now, and that's because of the torque in my hips. That's not me yanking on the handlebars. That's my hip, lower back engagement. My hands are still light on the bars. I'm just kind of balancing myself there. There is a little bit of pressure alternating on my hands, counteracting that torquing feeling from the hips. When I give you the signal, add even more resistance, and then stand up onto the pedals on the rhythm. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add even more to the point where you can't pedal it seated and you have to stand. Feel your body weight transfer through the hips and glutes with each pedal stroke. Now in 3, and 2, and 1. Come back to seated climbing. Reducing the resistance but keeping it heavy that you're still struggling. Reduce your resistance. Back to flat road. No recovery now. Bring your legs back up to 90 RPM. Keep your resistance light. We're just going to notice that funny feeling when we move to faster cadences after a slow, heavy section. Notice that feeling in your legs? Feel heavy? We're going to spin that out a little bit. Let's notice together that that heaviness starts to fade away as we hold this 90 RPM, and the smoothness starts to come back to the pedal stroke. And the heart rate, although recovered a little bit from that climbing, it's still relatively high because we're still doing work at a lower level, but we're still doing work. So no chance for the heart rate to recover fully. Leaving the resistance right where it is. For 10 seconds, sit up. Maybe drink some water. Slow your legs way down. We're going to do a series of acceleration sprints in the saddle. So So that means we're going to have relatively high resistance and about 100 or a little bit more cadence or pedal speed. And these efforts will feel like you couldn't hold them for a minute, you couldn't hold them for 40 seconds, in that ballpark. That's how it feels to you. Now your amount of resistance will be different from mine, but the feeling will be the same. The cadence will be about the same. Your body awareness, your focus will be the same. All right, let's get onto our handlebars. Do a quick body scan starting with your hands. Notice again your elbows and your shoulders, your spine, your belly. Where's your natural gaze falling? Just right out here. Yeah. Okay. We'll accelerate the legs and add resistance. It will feel like an effort you can't hold for a minute. In the saddle, upper body beautifully relaxed. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add that resistance in, bring the leg speed up to around 100. And if you want, you can look at my upper body. It's still calm, still peaceful. Yours could be the same. Slow your legs down, reduce the resistance. Pedal super slowly. Even sit up like I am. Notice your breathing. How'd that feel? We have 2 more to go. Integrate what you just learned. Maybe a little more resistance, maybe a little less the next one. Did you twist and torque your body around? If so, you can release that and be more calm and relaxed on the bike in our next one. Integrate. All right, let's go back to our handlebars. Lead yourself through a body scan starting with your hands. Take some deep breaths as we do this from a relaxed belly. Here we go. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add the resistance. Accelerate your legs back up to around 100 RPM. Slow your legs down, reduce your resistance. Integration time. 1 more to go. Think to yourself, how much longer could I have held that if I had to? How intense was the exertion in the muscles? What was your feeling of perceived exertion? These kind of efforts, that should be an 8 or 9. What happened to your heart rate? What happened to your breathing? Let's come back to the handlebars. Release any tension in your back. Let that belly relax. Our 3rd and final one. In 3, and 2, and 1. Accelerate the legs. Add the resistance in. Stay calm in the saddle. And slow your legs down, reduce the resistance. As we're allowing the heart rate to come down from those hard efforts, with your light resistance, just set up at about the pedal speed I have right here. And you'll notice this is the rhythm of the song. I point to the left because my speaker's over to the left. That's where I'm hearing it from. Come back to your handlebars. Our last hard effort of the day is standing on this rhythm with extra heavy resistance, driving our body weight into the pedal, but keeping our hands light on the bars. This is a skill. It's a practice. And we're going to learn to feel our bodies, and we're going to learn to do this beautifully. So when I count you into it, add huge resistance, hold this rhythm, and rise onto the pedals. In 3, 2, 1. Add that heavy resistance, rise into it, keep your hands light. Come back to light resistance, hold this rhythm. Now those of you on a fixed gear spin bike, that should be an extremely hard effort. You should be out of breath right now. That comes from adding the extra heavy resistance and then using our weight and our muscles to drive it. You might be used to standing up for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. That can only be done with very light resistance to no resistance. What we're doing here is working against the resistance. Let's do one more, shall we? It's like we've shifted in an extremely hard gear. That's what it feels like. In 2, and 1. Crank that resistance up, stand into it, feeling your body weight, transfer through the glutes. And now come back to extremely light resistance. Good. Fixed gear bike people. You'll have to learn to add that resistance in. And your measure is that leaves you breathless. Even 20, 30 seconds out of the saddle leaves you breathless. Your heart rate very high. That's your measure. That's your indicator. All right, we're into active recovery now. Take your resistance way down. Slow your legs way down. Start to notice your breath recovering. And you can sit up like I am. And if you feel like it, you can place your hands the way I have mine. I do this just naturally. I don't think about it. Pay attention to your breath, slowing. And the heart rate slowing. Let's reach down, take some more resistance out. We're going to work our way all the way back to the point where it's just barely on. Slow your legs some more. Let's integrate, not just that last effort, but the whole class now. Let's go back in time to when we started class 42 minutes ago. And compare how you feel right now to then. You'll absolutely notice being more relaxed, less stressed, more awake, more alive. Notice those things. It's really important to pay attention to that stuff. Those are what we call the intrinsic rewards of exercise. And that's how you build a lifetime of movement, by paying attention to this. Reducing my resistance a little bit more, slowing my legs even more. Finally, letting my legs come to a stop. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Let's stretch our calves. We do that by rising up onto the pedals. The pedals will be at 3 and 9 o'clock. Just drop your heels. Feel a nice stretch in the legs and the calves. And now let's rotate the legs so that the back foot's in the front, and again drop your heels. Just feel that nice stretch in the calves. Alright, let's swing the leg over the bike. And standing next to our bike, we're going to stretch our quadriceps first. Just pull back up the ankle and feel that nice stretch in the front of the leg. And now let's move to the other leg. Just pulling back on the ankle, feeling the stretch, breathing as we do it. Now we're going to stretch the hamstrings. I always use the top bar of the bike, but you're welcome to use the handlebars or the saddle, whatever works for you. Hold the stretch. And now let's stretch the other leg. Same thing. Handlebars are saddle or top bar of the bike. My right leg very often is more tight than my left. Well, thank you for joining me for a ride today. Feel free to stay and stretch a couple more minutes. I'll leave the music playing for you. Excuse me. Feel free to hit the subscribe button down there. Like the video, that'll help us get more traction. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.